But when you talk about transformational projects, the city of Fishers has launched several in recent years. The Yard is a 17-acre culinary district under construction, a $110 million mix of restaurants, luxury apartments, retail, a dual-branded hotel. And just last week, the city announced a $153 million downtown development that includes apartments, townhomes, retail, a major corporate headquarters, and hotel. And for more, let's welcome Fishers Mayor Scott Fadness. As always, Mayor, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Gary.
A lot continues to go on in your community, and so many of these projects have been done with talent in mind and attracting and retaining talent. That's been an important part of the equation.
Yeah, well, when we're trying to recruit companies, what we always see when you're in that interaction with the CEO, they're thinking to themselves, can I convince my employees that I have currently that they want to be a part of this place? Or can I convince people that will soon be part of our employment to be a part of this place? And so we've got to create that product, that compelling story for them to want to be a part of it.
Part of that story will be this just recently announced development in downtown Fishers, a $153 million development. A main anchor of that project will be First Internet Bank, a company that continues to kill it, really, and do some great things with David Becker. They're going to have their corporate headquarters right in the heart of Fishers.
Yeah, this is a really exciting. This is a culmination of our downtown development. Actually, I think it's the largest project we've ever done. And with First Internet Bank, serial entrepreneur like David Becker, building their corporate headquarters, which is going to be a significant anchor to this master concept or master plan. But then we're also going to have this high-end boutique hotel in downtown, and then on the other side, more apartment living, more townhomes, more office, and even some retail. So that mix of people living and working in close proximity attracts, what's interesting, it doesn't just attract the young generation, but it also attracts the 55 and older generation. I think that's critical for the long-term sustainability of our city.
Also mentioned the Yard, which is a unique development, a lot of restaurants and retail activity, and culinary accelerators part of that. Talk about the Yard and what how that idea really came about.
Yeah, it's a spin on the next generation of retail, so we can't keep building big boxes. That market's been disrupted, but what we do know is people want experiences. So experiential retail still has a really strong market. That's why when we looked at doing a development here, we decided that we didn't want to go with the traditional model. We really focused on the culinary side. So there's nearly 10 or 12 restaurants in this little focused area. And then again, to pursue kind of this entrepreneurial vision of our city, we wanted to create a space where people who have a culinary passion can pursue that right there at the Culinary Accelerator. And so we'll have a lot more information on that first quarter of next year, but they're just about all leased up at the Yard already. And it's gone from a $40 million project to a $140 million project. So the market has responded to this type of concept, and we're really excited to kind of open this up and really see how residents react to it.
How do you balance, as you look at these exciting projects, then the Topgolf and IKEA and all those?
Well, this is the age-old discussion you have in a city. Most people want to close the door behind them. And that's just not a practical reality in the world that we live in today. So I have to convince our residents that by taking the actions that we are, although that it's change, and that can be difficult, absent of change, the world's going to change around us and we're going to be left behind. So we have to have a bold vision. We have to aspire to that. We have to execute. So smart planning, smart infrastructure growth, which I think we've made good strides in. But at the end of the day, I'm going to live in a community, and I'm going to lead a community that's growing, adapting, and evolving to the world around it, and not sitting by and watching it go by them.
As we wrap up, your take on talent and in Indiana as a state, but central Indiana, such a critical issue. How do you view where things are now with respect to the ability to keep talent, but also get the talent here that's needed?
A lot of talk about this, a lot of conversations, a lot of folks smarter than I am that have been on this show talking about this issue. I think it's a population issue. I think it's about getting more people living in Indiana. I think when we talk about talent, we talk about repurposing the people we have. I think that's an important element. We have got to make Indiana a desirable place for people to move here, and move here in significant numbers. We've depleted rural Indiana into our urban areas. There's nobody left in those areas for the most part to take from. We've got to start bringing people in from all around the country. And that, I think the ground game of that is building better cities, better senses of places all around our state and in all different regions of our state. And to me, that is a key component of the talent conversation that doesn't always get talked about. Instead, we talk about, well, we've got to change the pipeline around workforce education and things of that nature. Absolutely true. But if you go into rural Indiana and they ask you, I just can't find anybody, well, reality is the population's been declining there for over a decade.
All right, Fishers Mayor Scott Fadness, a lot going on in your community, Mayor. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you.
All right.